So I've released a few videos recently, a couple tutorial videos showing you guys how I've created this head. And I just wanted to show you guys, especially the ones that watch the videos, and if you've been following along, just show you what the end results were, or what they're going to be, and what I've managed to achieve with this head. And it's pretty comprehensive, and it manages to basically act like a 3D model. I'm going to show you guys what I mean, but I just want to delve in. Now, if I render this out, this is what the final head looks like. So if we just was to just delve into the head now, it's got a lot of the smart bones that I've got on many of my other rigs, but it's got a few new ones. Now I've got ones for individual eyebrows. Now when I do press the play button or the mouse key, you can see there's these squares that come up, and they're the eyelids. And I'm just going to show you what they do so I can get rid of them, because they're kind of distracting. So I've got smart bones hair for the lids, and it can bring the lid up. I've got one for the top lid, and it does that. So now I can just go in and get rid of these because they are kind of distracting. But yeah, so we've got individual eyes. That's nothing spectacular. Because it is a cat, I've got one for cat's eyes, and it allows his pupils, if you look, to dilate and to go into like a, I don't know, cat's eyes. Again, eyeballs, they can make them big or they can shrink quite small. On this side, we've got smart bones for the ears. So if I was to use this, it makes the ears rotate in either direction. And if you do know anything about cats and their body language, they do use a lot of expressions through their ears and through their tails. So this just kind of gives you another bit of dimension to his personality. And we've also got his whiskers, and these are able to move independently, and we can bring them down and give him different facial expressions. And his ears can also rotate around in his head space, and then we can use these bones here to get different angles. Then we can move on to the mouth. So we've got a bone here which gives him a smile and a frown. We've got one here that shows his lips, and in his mouth he's got a set of teeth which I'll show you what they rotate within the head. So you can do an O motion. We've got this one here that does the jaw, so you can open up his mouth, or we can kind of close it a bit more. And we've got a wide or small. Now the good thing about this, and especially doing a rig like this, is especially animals with snouts, just by moving the shape of the snout you can get different animal looks. So now we can kind of get a bear or a fox, or you can get, I don't know, you can get a chipmunk, or many different types of animals just by playing about with the size of the snout. And likewise with the nose. So if I go to, I've got his nose on a pin bone, so if I was to just pull it down, now he looks more like a fox. So just by moving it about, you can get, again, different looks, and it's quite straightforward to do, and it's quite versatile. Now we've got a wide and a small, so you can open up his mouth really wide. And then we've got our, at the top here, our head turn and our up and down bar. Now he's able to look all the way up, and look all the way down. And if you look at his ears kind of rotate to his orientation, and his eyes and his mouth and snout, everything moves and works like I would expect them to. And he's got a head turn bone, and if I was to use his up and down, these bones still you're still able to use these bones and get your desired effect with minimum conflicts. I'm just going to reset all of these, and then we've got our head turn bone, and he can look all the way to the left and do a full all the way back, and for the other side also. But interestingly, he can, because his actual mouth is attached to this bone here, I could turn his head all the way around. We can use this bone to continue to talk, or we can use our jawbone, and it still rotates no matter which way I turn my head. All of these bones still work, and I could just render it out and show you at that angle. That looks pretty cool still. If I move it to this angle and render it, that looks pretty cool. And again, so just keep turning it. So yeah, I managed to get a pretty much a 3D head working, and I'm pretty impressed with the results. And if I'm honest, a lot of it was done by accident, and trying to do one thing and another thing happened, and I was like, okay, that works, and you just build upon it. So yeah, if you follow along with the videos that I've released, there's a couple more to come, and they're going to show you guys how I complete the head turn and how I do the ups and downs, and should have minimum conflicts in regards to all of these still working, irrespective of where I put any of these bones and how I have the orientation of the head. So yeah guys, hope you enjoyed it. Actually, there's something else I could run into. So now that we've got our head completed, what you can do now, I've got a character here that I've attached him to. So this is another rig that I've created, and as you can see, he's got a body on him now. He's got a working tail. Forgot to go to frame 1. Got a tail that works, and all of these, which I've shown you the video on this before. So you can easily fix your characters up with any of your pre-existing rigs, and it's quite straightforward to do. You know, once you build one body, as I said, this body has a squash and stretch. It has a shoulders and the shoulder labels. You know, it's got body turn, it can turn his body and all sorts. So there's that side. And if I was to just jump into my Anime Studio, you can actually put him on another one of your humanoid rigs, and this is what it actually looks like if you was to do that. So it's the exact same head, and I've just attached him to another rig of mine and removed the head and the hands, and if you look closely, it's actually got paws that, if I was to delve into them, I could find his hands. There you go. Got paws that actually work and rotate, because the GP is off, you can't see, but got inside of the paws. It's got claws that work and come out, which I could probably show you a bit. Oops, didn't want to do that. Try that again. Right, so yeah, he's got paws that work and rotate, and it's got claws that we can use to come out of his hands. They work in either direction. And yeah, this is the exact same head and is able to pretty much do everything that you would expect a humanoid character to do. So if you've seen things like, especially when I first started doing this, and then a lot of people was asking me whether I'd show them how to build rigs because they want to make cartoons like Barry's Tales. And if I'm honest, I didn't know at the time what Barry's Tales was, and this was about a year ago. And I went online and I looked it up, and it was pretty decent. So I could see why they wanted to get involved and start making comics and cartoons like it. So yeah, if you was to build a head like this, you're quite easily able to transfer it into any one of your humanoid rigs and have him look and behave exactly how you would expect a humanoid looking cat thing to behave. And the last thing I'll probably show is the style. So if we go to this character here, now this is a modified version of the original one, and because it's got styles and it's not the best color, so I'm going to change it. And I'm going to go to the fur. We'll just pick we can pick whatever color we want. So we'll go for this color. And we could change the color of the fur, so I think I've called it a fluff. You could change the color of that. So I think I'll just leave it as it is, but sometimes when I do my videos and make my character rig, sometimes it looks like I'm going the long way round and I do things that are unnecessary. But if I remove the fur, we get a different type of cat, I guess. Maybe looks a bit more feminine, and it makes your cat a little bit more easily customizable. So the fact that I put the fur on separate layers and rig them separately, I can easily take them off and have a different look. And if I was to go to the head layer and do the turns and everything, it still should all be in sync. So that's it for this video. Don't forget, hit the like button, and if you want to know how to do this, go and check out the tutorials that I've made on my channel.